Did you know that 70% of olive oil is chemically adulterated, cut with seed oils, and not what it claims to be? Here's a few quick, simple steps to figure out how to get real, fresh olive oil.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Nathan.
And we are
the Nuvo brothers.
Nathan and I started Nuvo Olive Oil back in 2012 because we came across an amazing opportunity to make real, fresh olive oil. Nathan and I come from a background in a family where olive oil was part of our culture and our life, but we had no idea that there was such a huge difference between real olive oil and fake olive oil. So it's been our mission over the last 10 years to bring you real, good, fresh olive oil so that you can get the good stuff into your home. On this video, we're going to cover simple tests that you can do at home,
labels and certifications that you can look for,
and we'll talk about common myths about fake olive oil.
So let's just dive right in, guys.
Simple tests that you can do at home. So this amounts to, you buy your olive oil at the store, you take it home, you don't know, if it's good or not, but there is a way for you to tell if it's good or not, and that's by smelling it and drinking it, right? How many people look at you crazy when you ask them to drink olive oil?
I still get it.
You still get it, right? But what's crazy is that even though we call it oil, olive oil is actually
a fruit juice.
It's his favorite line. And you can drink it. Not that we really recommend you to drink a cup of olive oil, but olive oil has massive nutritional benefits. And when it's fresh, it's great to drink. It's not oily, it's not greasy, it's not waxy, it's not disgusting. It's a beautiful thing to experience.
It's fruity and vibrant and delicious, full of flavors. And so the real way to test it is to smell it and drink it. And it should be an experience. It should pass through your palate clean. It should be fruity retroactively from smelling it, pungency and bitterness in the throat. So it takes a moment until you get that little tickle on the finish.
I do like it. I always usually
It's great. It's just a little bit bitter, but it goes down very, very nicely. Yeah, very Italian style. It's wonderful. I'm Steven and I'm from Italy, and this is wonderful.
Yeah, and that's actually what competitions, that's how olive oil is judged. Fruitiness, pungency, bitterness. That is the structure of a beautiful olive oil. So, we often suggest for you to go home, do a little tablespoon, see how it feels in your mouth, see if you get any fruitiness, because that is the tried and true method to make sure you have real good, fresh, extra virgin olive oil.
If their palate ever feels greasy or your lips feel thick or crayony, that's rancid oil. And that would be like eating a rotten tomato. When we first started, we did expert tasting classes with people that came out from Italy, and they would have us taste the rancid oil, so we had the experience of knowing what it tasted like. When we're at the grocery store, there's a couple things we should be looking for. Certified extra virgin olive oil by an independent third party, such as the California Olive Oil Council, is always a good thing. In America, we have California Olive Oil Council, and we have the National NAOOA,
North American
Olive Oil Association.
Yeah. And what's great with them is that if you want that certification, you need to do a lab test. So you have to send your olive oil to a third-party laboratory, and then you have to send them your oil for a taste test.
With the paperwork.
With the paper.
From the lab testing. So we have the chemical analysis, what's actually in there, and then the expert tasters test it to make sure there's no defects and that the taste is, and it's certified extra virgin at that point.
It's interesting because you can have chemically an extra virgin olive oil, and this happened to us actually in our second year, but there was a taste defect because the olives had frozen. And when olives freeze, it's kind of like a glue wine. You know how when grapes freeze and they make that sweet wine, it's a sweet wine. So olive oil is the same thing. When the olive freezes and you make the oil from a frozen olive, you get this little bit of sweetness, which actually is really nice in your palate. But if you're judging it for extra virgin, if you want to call it extra virgin, it can't have that sweetness. That sweetness is a defect. So that's why you have a chemical analysis and a taste analysis. And that's why you need both in order to really know if your oil is extra virgin or not.
That's right. We don't want the taste of the freeze,
Taste of the freeze.
as our Italian Miller would say. But when the water freezes inside, then it's going to change the composition of what comes out
In the olive.
in the olive oil. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so interesting. So it's all out there on the label. You just have to know what to look for. A couple other things to look for.
The harvest date.
Most important. Number one importance.
Once a year, we collect the fruit and squeeze the juice, and that's the yearly crop.
And the entire northern hemisphere of the world harvests basically between October and January, but the entire world. So the entire northern hemisphere. So the harvest happens during one period of the year, and then you consume that oil the following year. So like this was made in December 2024 to be consumed in 2025. So when you're looking at the bottle and the harvest date, it might look like you're a year past that date, but you have to remember it's typically done in December. So start from that date to figure out how old your olive oil is.
Another thing you can look for is the type of olives that goes into making the olive oil. And there's thousands of different types of olive trees native to different parts of the world, right? Like the Kalamata olive comes from the Kalamata region in Greece. And some olives are good for making table olives, but some olives are good for making olive oil. There's a whole criterion about that.
Something else to look for on the back label is country of origin. Olive oil, you want to know that it's from a specific area. A lot of times you'll go to the grocery store and you'll see olive oil. It says made in Tunisia, France, Spain, Greece, Italy. It's made from 15 different countries, and that's just not the way olive oil is made. Certainly not the way good olive oil is made. So, you want to find either the farm or at least the region, if not, the specific location, the farm where it comes from.
Always buying local is you're going to get your best bet, because olive oil doesn't travel well. So, if you're in Italy, of course, locally you can get good Italian olive oil, or in Greece. We're in California, and we have great olive oil here locally in California.
Exactly.
So next we can talk about the trans fats and the labeling. If there's trans fats in the nutritional facts here, that doesn't exist in nature, and it's not in olives. And olive oil doesn't have trans fats.
Unfortunately, people will fib on their label about their olive oil, but if you lie about your nutritional info, you'll get in a lot of trouble. So they won't say there's canola oil or some other oil with a trans fat, but it will show up in that nutritional area. So that's a place where they hide it.
Telltale sign.
That's a great point, and a great way to make sure that there's no
trans fats.
Yeah, nasty stuff in your oil.
Finally, it's always good to buy olive oil in a dark glass bottle.
Imperative.
The dark glass is going to protect the olive oil from UV rays, and it's going to prolong the shelf life. So it's going to keep it fresher longer. And that's going to keep the olive oil from breaking down, decomposing, and turning rancid. We want you to consume real fresh, extra virgin olive oil.
We often hear that extra virgin olive oil is too expensive.
But how can you put a price on this?
You do pay for what you get, and we only have one life, one gift that we have to protect. And dumping in rotten, rancid, junk olive oil is not the way to go.
Definitely not. And just in our culture, generally, we're conditioned to want to project outwardly with nice clothes, maybe a nice watch, nice cars, right?
Fancy hat.
But we don't want to spend the money on what we're putting in here to protect really what's most important is our human life, our human body.
And we often talk about how you either pay for it now or you pay for it later.
And it's a lot more expensive later.
So
a lot more suffering.
We're trying to get the message out, prevention.
Preventative.
Prevent
right.
all of the things that could happen by consuming good, fresh, healthy ingredients. You can help stave off a lot of these negative outcomes that we often see from our diet.
100%, brother. And when you're pouring real fresh olive oil on fresh fruits and vegetables, really, it's a lifestyle thing and it's a preventative thing where we can, ripen up to a sweet old age and, still have body function, still be riding bikes and living life and enjoying life.
It would be a beautiful thing. Okay, just as a recap, check your label
Trust your senses.
and buy smart. Following these 3 things, you'll be sure not to be ingesting rotten, rancid olive oil in your life, in your family's lives, in your friends' lives. Hopefully we've done our part. Is there anything else that we've left out we want to talk about?
A common misconception is that we can put our extra virgin olive oil in the fridge, and if it solidifies, it's extra virgin.
This seemed like a great test. Unfortunately, it's proven to not be the case. What solidifies is actually fat. And so, even a non-extra virgin olive oil can have enough fat so that it solidifies. So as great of a shortcut as we thought it could be, unfortunately, it's not. So be sure to look at the label, right? And all the other things that we've talked about today to ensure that you're getting the good stuff for yourself. Well, we'd love to hear from you.
That's right.
If you have any questions, comments, we're the olive oil experts. Let us know what questions you have or any topics you'd like for us to go over. We'd love to hear from you. Like, subscribe, comment. We're here for you. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you've learned a lot. And as always,
Stay healthy, friends.